Live from Mendocino, it's the Now and Then Show, starring that omnibus of talent, the artist of all Bobs, Bob Avery. Live music, produced by Demetri and Kim Sajn. This is Michael Evans inviting you to stay tuned for the next 30 minutes to enjoy Bob's guests, Mike Evans, Angus McThrifty, and Charles Tyler. And here he is now, the man you've all been waiting for, Bob Avery.
All right. Good evening and welcome to Now and Then, our first presentation. We call it Now and Then because we're not sure how long this thing is going to go on, but we assume that it's going to be an enduring and popular program. We have a fine show for you tonight. Louis, how are you?
Fine, Bob. How are you doing tonight?
Louis is the band master.
My band aid here.
He's the head band, as you can see, right? All right. We have a great show tonight. We have several good guests lined up for you. First, we're going to meet our producer, Michael Evans, who has had the guts to put this thing together and be with us tonight. Secondly, we're going to meet a very fine and talented musician, a fellow named Charles Tyler. And you will learn to remember this man's name in future. And we're going to meet a special guest tonight, Angus McThrifty. And Angus is a well-known entrepreneur, a scholar of thrift, a person who has spent his entire life learning how to save a penny, and he is in fact the star of Pinch a Penny. We're going to talk to him also. We'll be right back. So enjoy yourselves. Stay with us.
Do you suffer from too much creative activity? Do you need a break from the constant creative process? Then you need to try Mendocino Syndrome, formulated to relieve creative inspiration and block the creative thought process. So try Mendocino Syndrome for relief of that creative impulse. Brought to you by the makers of heavy beer.
Draft style heavy beer. I don't go for that light beer. Heavy beer.
Come on, Johnny, let's go.
Maybe I'll just have another heavy beer.
All right, we're back. Our first guest tonight is our producer, a very brave fellow, a man who has spent his life learning the techniques of enticing. And I'd like to welcome him and you to get together right now. Michael Evans. Come on out, Mike.
Hey,
how are you?
Good to see you, Bob.
Good to see you. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Hey, Mike. How's it going? Pretty good. Long time no see. Good. I want to just, first of all, thank everybody for showing up here, now that it's 3 a.m. And,
gee, I forgot. I mean, the refreshments and the money was so good.
We checked every morning.
I couldn't resist it, you know.
So, how do you like being a host? Oh, I'm
Wait a minute, I'm supposed to ask you the questions, right? He's hot. This guy is sharp. That's how he got me here in the first place, right? You know, he lured me. No, I have to ask you a question.
What is it?
What is this all about? Why are we doing this? What is it going to lead to? Is it going to do something for the people of the world? Is it a heavy esoteric trip, or is it simply another surf adventure?
Every one of those things.
I might have expected this. That's what he told me when he got me here, you know.
Actually, I knew a few of my friends needed something to do, so I thought I'd get them together and try to do something.
But this transcends friendship.
Yes, it does. I agree. The thing is, a lot of people, and I have talked several times about trying to do something that would incorporate a lot of local people and that could be viewed locally on TV. And since there's nobody else around doing anything on television,
You're talking about major networks now, right?
No, we're not talking major network. We're talking MCCET Cable 6 that now comes out of Fort Bragg now. And we're trying to get a live line drop right here into Mendocino in this studio so that we can do live productions. Not recorded live like right now.
We're not live.
Yeah, we're
Disregard
live. We're
this.
Live, but anyway, and I've had a lot of feedback from it. A lot of people have been really interested in getting involved with it, and so we decided to get it together. Louis and I actually, and Doug Nunn wrote the show almost a year ago or something like that, and have since that time gone off on each of our own little projects, and now, and about a year later, we've been able to work our whole lives around the fact that we could work together and do this again.
And here we are, right?
And here we are. So anyway, the whole plan.
Next week we get a desk
is to show
and some chairs. You know,
on the first show that it will be very.
it's okay.
Different.
You know, I mean, it's working, right?
This is a.
I'm not embarrassing you, am I?
Oh, not at all.
Oh, good.
I'm
It's
just
hard to do.
Even happening like this. So mainly the whole show is trying to. It's a variety talk show that will have comedy, real people on, local people that have been here all their whole life, real old people, and people who lived here, 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, 80 years, And also, I want to get counterpoint people on different types of people who have different opinions about everything. People from Fort Bragg talking to people about Mendocino, about growth and things like that. Have the supervisors on sometimes when it's necessary. And
it's always necessary.
Well, see, here we go.
Have you ever seen them on?
Of you. No, they've only been, actually, they were on my show once.
I think I'm beginning to understand, though. What we're talking about here is radio with visuals.
Visuals. But so we have...
That I can deal with.
With comedy, local musicians. Locos. And musicians and anybody else who, poets, authors, who come on and have anything to talk about, unlike us, of course.
Michael, as in the past, we have nothing to talk about.
No.
So has it always been.
So I would...
Watch Channel 9,
I appreciate you bringing me out here to inaugurate the show and thank everybody for getting here. So
I'm real pleased.
I'll get back to my control room
to be here.
And so the show can go on. Thank you, Bob.
You're in charge, right?
Well, that's what they
What's
tell
happening
me.
now that you're out here, and I assume you have people responsible for
it's on auto
all the lights. There's lights here, and there's music.
No,
right?
actually.
Music? There is music? Right? See?
Oh, those were drums, but...
No, that's synthetic drums.
Okay, so...
Yeah, camera people and all these wonderful people that are here tonight, that's great.
I'll get back there, and you can continue on with the show. And,
all right.
I guess you're first guest.
We got some great guests tonight.
Oh, who'd you get?
I didn't get them, you got them.
Oh, I got
Don't you remember?
I just ran the show.
Well, I think I can remember. I'll try.
I'm sure you can.
Right. Second person, after you leave, I'll introduce.
Okay, good.
But first, we have this message, and then we'll be right back.
The product? Remember the product? Chocolate chip cookies, remember that? Remember how good they're supposed to be?
Gall darn it, Hedda. You call this breakfast? Why, this is the greasiest thing I've ever eaten. Why, if there was an oil man around here, he'd probably stake a claim and start drilling.
Well, at least he'd have something to drill with, if you catch my drift.
Yeah? Well, breakfast with you is about as romantic as necking with a hog in a compost pile.
That does it. Say hello to my fry pan.
Is breakfast invading your house with dreariness with each new dawning of the sun? Why not start each morrow with good cheer? Bring culture to thy grip, put romance on thy lips with Shakey's Flakes. Shakey's Flakes, the 100% whole barred cereal from General Muse. A blend of breakfast cereal in the kingdom. It givest thou most wondrous humors and tames the shrew in all of us. Alas, poor Yorick could have been a healthy man if he had only eaten Shakey's flakes.
Hoova, hoova, dearest soul, let us munch another bowl. How you know my heart doth quake when you pour me Shakey's flakes.
Oh, Heather, soft and ethereal, how pourest thou a bowl of cereal? But then, let us make haste and eat, before my codpiece swelleth 2 feet.
All's well that ends well. Remember Shakey's flakes, the 100% all-barred cereal from General Muse.
We're back. My next guest on tonight's show is a very special fellow, a man who is brave enough to walk around in the ether without an oxygen mask. He is a thrifty fellow. In fact, that is his name, Angus McThrifty. He is an author of Consumer Digest. He is a man who has spent his entire life learning about saving a penny. In fact, he is the star of Pinch a Penny. I would like you to welcome right now Angus McThrifty. Angus?
Sorry, I couldn't bring my piper, Bob, but you gotta save money anyway.
Oh, it's all right. I thought you were going to save a handshake there for a second.
No, sir. Handshakes are free. I know these things.
Free?
Free, sir.
Oh, free.
Right?
I had a little trouble with your accent.
How'd you go in there, didn't I?
Shake your booty.
Shake my booty. I will. I'm so proud. It's full of change.
Well, Angus, I want to know what it is that has led you to this high esteem in the world of consumerism. You apparently know how to pinch a penny. Is that right?
That's right, Bob. As a matter of fact, some people call me, I show a little need of the cameras there, eh? Some people like to call me the world's foremost authority on saving a penny. And in fact, I am. I've written a wonderful book, Scotland on 10 cents a day. You might have read it.
I did, yes.
It's a great book.
I did read it.
I figured. You seem like a scholarly type to me.
Well, I am.
You're right. I've done a number of benefits to show people how to, for example, shop in a sale. Did you see that, Bob? Oh, thank God. You can never know when you'll see one of these things. Boy, Bob, you gotta watch it, lad. They're all over the place. Evans is a spendthrift, sir. Anyway.
I'm afraid I missed it.
It was my penny. I made it.
I saw that, yeah, I saw that.
You can never.
It was a good save.
Oh, excuse me. I'll get that a little.
You want to say it again? Want to say it again?
The penny.
Yeah.
Well, I could, but do an instant replay, sir. But I could double my money, couldn't I?
You could. You could, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I've been.
Would you be careful?
Sure.
This is a family show.
Oh, right, sorry. I'm getting a bit risky, I'm there.
No, I talked to Michael about this earlier. I said, you know, are we going to have some girls on the show? And he said, no, but we're going to have Angus.
Oh, Bob, now you're sinking low. You know what they call the Scotties in the last war?
What?
The ladies from hell.
Oh, no.
That's right, sir.
I thought I saw that movie.
You did?
I did. I hate to confess it, but I saw it. Oh,
you know, Bob, I go around giving advice.
Remember this? Yeah.
All right, now there's a cheap popsicle for you. You can eat it over and over again. That's a good way to save money.
Right.
Bob, you know, I've got advice for all sorts of people on how to save a penny here and there.
Let us know.
Now, for example, you could take that jacket there, and you could make yourself a pretty penny. I know a number of pimps in Oakland who'd love to have that jacket. They'd pay dear for it, too, sir.
Not in my car.
Oh, excuse me, I was getting winded. Sometimes giving advice...
Quit smoking.
Right.
It works, you know.
I haven't smoked for years. Cigarettes cost way too much, even the generic varieties.
And this from a man who knows how to pimp pennies. Pinch pennies, I'm sorry.
You tell him, sir. Well, one of the things I did want to do here,
Yes.
as long as I'm here, I'm starting on my new recording career. I'm recording short songs that are cheaper, less expensive to buy, and I thought I'd start with one of the themes from my show.
Oh, good.
You can be a first.
Would you do this for us tonight? You're going to perform it right here and now?
Yeah, all right, what do you say? I knew they'd love it. Okay, I will.
Considering the price of plastic, yes.
This is my #1 hit on the Pinch That Penny's top parade of penny pinching hits, as it were. Oh, you'll pay the high price, and I'll pay the low price, and I'll be a rich man of 40, and all of my money lies in bonds like honey in the bonny, bonny banks of McThrifty. What do you think there, Bob?
Angus, what can I say?
It's a short song, that way costing less plastic to be printed on.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm underwhelmed.
I figured you would be. You know, I believe the Avery's a Scottish name.
They certainly are.
I thought they
The
were.
Avery Brewery is the largest in all of England.
Is that right?
It was a transplant.
Is it? Oh my goodness. I figured the Averys. I figured there was a great clan, Mick Avery, in the north of Scotland, and these people were amazing at their ability to grab a wallet. Very, very good.
It's true. This is very true.
I was going to show you my collection.
It's
Most
not-
people, I knew you were going to ask me.
It's not mine, is it?
You were going to ask me what was in my...
No. He couldn't have. Not possible, right, folks? He couldn't have done this.
Okay, I'll show you.
Show me.
These are possessions very dear to a Scotsman. Of course, you guessed it. Me wallet. It's something that's very important, and
How'd you do that?
normally...
Wait a minute. How did you do that? I've been sitting here this whole time. That's my wallet.
Well,
It's my wallet, isn't it?
I'll show you. You know how he knows. That's because of the world's second most important thing for a Scotsman, and that's a spirit gum. You apply it to your fingernails. It makes it quite easy to pilfer things. And here, I got the first coin I ever made. The second coin I ever made, going and so forth. I got them all at home. You ought to come visit sometime.
3 coins in the fortune, right?
I got a lot more where those come from.
I bet you do.
Right, Bob.
I bet you have a lot more of these where those came from, too, don't
Why
you?
not you let me
No,
have
you're an honest fella, aren't you?
days, Bob.
Aren't you? Okay,
I'll
I
give it
believe
back
him.
to you.
Don't you believe him? We believe him, don't
I
we?
figured you would. Well, you know, Bob, I should be getting off. I don't want to miss. There's a sale downtown I got to be getting to. You know, I like to make an appearance now and then again at sales. So I suppose I should be off. And if any of you want to learn a little bit about how to save money, be sure to tune in to Pinch That Penny. And until then, Bob.
I can only recommend it, really.
Yeah, great
We've
man.
seen how you work.
And keep doing
Thank
that.
you, Angus, so much.
Keep doing that Howard Hesseman imitation, will you?
Ow. Stop. Ow.
Sorry, you're right.
It's all right.
Right, see you later then. Off to the sale now.
Goodbye, Angus. Amazing. We'll be right back. How can you top that?
How do you get this thing open?
Draft style heavy beer. Some people fall trees for a living, some people hit home runs. I like to crush cans. Heavy beer cans. Heavy beer.
Thrifty has gone off to check out the Thrifty stores, which were named after him and his lineage. But next on the show, I'd like to introduce you to a very special person, a man who has spent a great many years learning how to entertain and how to make us feel good and sweet and wonderful. A great musician, Charles Tyler. Charles?
Well, hi. What high praise. Good grief, I didn't deserve it.
You better live up to it, or I'm in deep trouble.
All right.
You can do it.
Well, I have a song here tonight for your entertainment, and it's called River. And this is a song I wrote whilst I was back in England last summer. And the inspiration for it was sitting by the river Ouse. That's spelled O-U-S-E, a river that runs through Sussex. And it's frozen over right now, I believe. It's very cold weather. But at the time I was sitting by it, it was full of juicy plants and green succulent things and weeds. And
This is a family show, Charles. Okay?
Anyway, this song...
Go with the flow.
Put me in
right?
the philosophical. This is a very flowing song for which I use my wah-wah pedal, my delay effect. Hey, how about that?
That's hot.
And,
Louis, you got one of those?
Uh-huh.
You do? You loaned it to him?
No.
You got your own? All right. This is Uptown.
So here we go.
Go, Charles.
song about a river flowing through a field, gentle as a bird, stronger than steel, stronger than steel.
Right. Charles Tyler, ladies and gentlemen. Charles, you want to come join us over here?
Sure thing.
Got a couple of questions I want to ask you. Well done, my boy.
Oh,
Thank you for coming. Thanks for being on the show.
well, it's a great honor. Good grief.
Well-
When Mike said, did I want to be on this show, I said, do I want to be on that show? You must be crazy.
That's what I said.
Do, right.
I have one question I want to ask you. You're from England originally, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why is it when English performers sing, they lose their accent?
It's a good question. I've often wondered. I think it's because we were brought up listening to American radio. We think that's the way we have
I
to sing.
wondered about that. I really wanted to know. I mean, because normally you don't lose your accent at all. But when you sing and you perform, you lose the accent. And then there are American performers, not English, but American performers who take on an accent when they perform too.
It's fashion, you know.
Is that what it is?
Until the Beatles came along, English people who stayed in England and sang English songs either sounded very British and sang, you know, "Oh, Maud, come into the garden," this kind of thing, or they tried to sound like Elvis, and
Movies,
it wasn't
they made movies
respectable
like
to have a non-BBC English accent. And it was people like the Beatles and David Bowie who made it respectable, and now everybody wants to sound like that.
Yeah.
And so now American bands are importing English singers to get the authentic English
To get the
voice.
sound, yeah. And then anyone who takes on an English accent is a killer immediately.
Yeah.
Come
But
over here and everyone,
I
you know.
think that American English sort of smooths out some of the rougher consonants and that helps the flow in pop music singing. I don't know.
Could be.
And the more nasal sound helps.
See, I grew up in Chicago when I was a child. And I lost that, these, dems, and those, you know, that kind of a thing where you talk like that. And it went away. And I don't know why exactly, except I was listening to music and I realized after a while that accents have a lot to do with where you are in the world. And it's always intrigued me why English performers lose their accent when they sing. And you've answered the question. Thank you. Thank you. And it was a beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. All right, we'll be back in a minute. We're going to round it up, and we'll tell you what's going to happen next time right here on the Sometimes Maybe Could Happen Next Year show. Be right back. Thanks, Charles.
Hi, you might remember me, Tilly from Tulsa. I was famous for pumping iron. Before that, I pumped Ethel. But now I like to pump heavy beer.
Action.
Chocolate chip cookies are really good to have on your...
Cut.
Not too bad. Did I blow it again?
I usually don't do commercials, but they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. The taste of real food salmon dinners convinced me that someone really needed to do a commercial. So try real food salmon dinners. If you don't like it, your cat will.
All right, here we are. That's it for tonight. I want to thank a lot of people tonight for coming. First of all, I want to thank Louie and the band, okay, for doing such a fine job tonight. All right, great
Thank you,
people.
Bob.
I want to thank our producer, Michael Evans, who had the guts to come out here and be before us tonight. I tried to get him on his knees, but he wouldn't go for it. All right. And I want to thank that thrifty fella, Angus McThrifty. Family show? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'll try and keep that in mind. My cord doth dangle. Well, anyway, Angus was a fine fellow to show up tonight and be with us, and he had some interesting and revealing things to say about stealing wallets. I got mine back. Thank you, Angus. Next time, you're mine, all right? And Charles Tyler especially, I want to thank for giving us such fine music this evening. Next time, we're going to have a very special guest, a man who is known internationally as a very fine paste-up artist. He's going to hate me for that. Anyway, Larry Fuente, who did appear on the cover of National Geographic magazine with his collage assembly and glue and all kinds of things that he does. Right now, he's in Mexico. He's covering a pyramid with pennies. He will be with us next time. And music, and maybe some girls next time even, too, you know. Thanks, Angus. It was a good try, but fair enough. All right. Anyway, we'll be back next time. I want to thank you again for being with us, and I want to thank all of our fine production people. I want to thank Michael, and I want to thank Peter. I want to thank Louie. I want to thank Kim. I want to thank everybody in the room. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Be back. Can I thank our sponsors? Hey, Mike, can I thank our sponsors? Pepsi Corporation, IBM, Dun & Bradstreet, and all the rest of those fine people, and the Reagan administration. Thank you. See you next time. What this is all about, right, Charles?